Good evening. Tonight, we're going to look at what is project-based learning. Imagine a long semester has come to an end and report cards come home in the mail. A simple envelope can hold dread or bliss. Now imagine opening that envelope, pulling out your report card and seeing shipbuilding, A. Students involved in Buck Institute for Education's project-based learning curriculum do just that. They receive grades for completing hands-on projects that produce 21st century skills. Tonight, I'm going to teach you a little bit about why teachers are using projects in the classroom, the idea behind project-based learning, and how project-based learning actually creates these 21st century skills employers are looking for. Research area for teaching completed studies over the 15 years in 1,000 different classrooms, and they show that students who have access to hands-on learning and activity-based projects perform 20% higher than their peers who are taught by simple textbook approaches. In West Bend, students use the FOSS science kits to create these, or to complete these project-based learning ideas. They take eggs, grow them into mealworms, and eventually they turn into beetles. So they're documenting the life cycles of these bugs. But they're also learning about habitat, and they're learning about what all living things need to survive. English students write alternative endings to some of their favorite stories. And who can forget the ever-famous social studies diorama? But in a world that is 3D, HD, instant messaging, and smartphone savvy, that old diorama just doesn't cut it anymore. Students need to know how to adapt to new horizons while learning about the historical ones, but they also need an environment to create and implement these new horizons for their own future. And project-based learning can do just that. The Buck Institute created project-based learning back in 1987 as a curriculum to become relevant and engaging to create 21st century skills for the students. They say project-based learning requires students to go through an extended process of inquiry in order to solve a complex challenge or problem. While allowing for some degree of student voice and choice, rigorous projects are planned, managed, and assessed to help students learn key academic content, practice 21st century skills, and create high-quality, engaging products and presentations. These 21st century skills are actually defined by America's top employers in USA Today as the ability to think critically, the ability to think creatively to solve problems, the ability to use the latest technology, and the ability to work and communicate as a collaborative team. Now that we know a little bit about how projects can actually boost learning powers and interest levels for our students, we're actually going to take a look at one project in project-based learning and see how it goes into not just one classroom area, but across the curriculum to create these 21st century skills. We're going to look at a project called Maine's First Ship, which took 14 area Maine students, a science teacher, a shipwright, a media specialist, and they mixed them all together and created a project called the Shallot Project. In this project, the students started by investigating Maine's ship, the Virginia. They did a research project and wrote a paper with their teacher, but then they went beyond that. They met with a local shipwright who showed them how to read and illustrate their own blueprints. The project that they had in mind was to actually scale down the Virginia and create and hands-on make their own ship, scale model to the Virginia. The shipwright helped them use math skills to translate these blueprints into their own scale size. They also had to use the math to measure the angles for the notches and combine the ship wood, but then they also had to figure the mass of what their actual ship would hold. While the students were completing the hands-on portion part of this, the wood shop class, they actually also met with a media specialist who helped create a video. When meeting with this video specialist, the media specialist, they not only created this video that you're seeing up here, they learned how to take digital images and they learned how to blog by creating their own web page, a blog page. On the blog page, the students have their own written daily journals, and all of the postings and the videos are on there also. While the project itself was actually completed on the grounds of the historical site, and it was open to the public daily, these students needed to meet daily with the public and create speech, daily speech classes with question and answer sessions with the public. In doing that, they learned not only speech skills, but it enhanced the community environment. On launch day, the students actually needed to market, so they studied marketing, and they created flyers, billboards, and web invites for their final assessment day, which was called launch day. Their final assessment was actually putting this ship into the harbor and demonstrating their videos and imaging for the public. This project wrapped up a whole semester of learning into 2 months of summer fun. This project not only educated these students, but it empowered them to educate their community in Maine about the historical ship, the Virginia. Now those are 21st century skills at their best. As a district, we in West Bend look forward to also creating these 21st century learners. Teachers at the new charter school will be teaching 6th through 9th grade students using project-based curriculum. And also classroom teachers will be developing smaller scale projects to work inside their classrooms. We look forward to inviting community members to create relevance within our classrooms and relationships. So when students go back out into the community, they themselves will be able to greet these employers because they know them. Assessments, we hope, will no longer be dreaded, but rather celebrated like launch day was in Maine. We at West Bend Schools will celebrate the moments that our students can live their learning to become our future. Thank you.